So my journey started about 14 plus years ago when I joined Resco. It was a funny coincidence. I met my boss and one of the Resco's co-founder at a curling tournament, and we started talking about what they do and what I do. I was back in school back then, and de facto it was my interview back then. From the very beginning, they were operating globally, which was very appealing for me to work with companies all around the world. And I've been doing a lot of things. So when I started at Resco, it was a company of less than 20 people. So I was wearing a lot of hats, doing a little bit on the side of marketing and sales and business development, and working with a lot of partners, the companies that we worked with back then, representing the company at different events and doing sessions and speaking and webinars, etc. So it was a lot of fun and a great learning for me. Resco started its journey in 1999, so more than 20 years ago. And it was really built around the idea that mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, etc., will eventually play a crucial role in our lives, both personal but also in business. We were creating these small apps that enhance the experience of these devices, so like a custom keyboard or a contact manager, a photo manager, etc. So ultimately used for better experiences on those devices. And at the same time, we're trying to turn the company more onto the B2B side of things. So, and eventually we moved on and became a company in the CRM space, customer relationship management, but still true to our original mission, and that's focus on the mobility or people in the field. And our technology nowadays is allowing companies to build quickly. It means it's a so-called low-code, no-code approach. Different types of mobile business applications for their field people. Those can be field service technicians, salespeople, inspectors, auditors, pretty much anybody who's out in the field doing some sort of work or jobs. What worked for me over the years, I think it's sports. I used to play tennis when I was young, and I was never good at it, but I persevered, and a lot of people gave up during their teenage years. I stayed true to the sport, and it learned me a lot of lessons to rely on yourself, to use your strengths to the best of their potential on any given day. And more recently, I became more of a runner, or I aspired to become a runner, rather. And that taught me great lessons, and I think it's very usable in business as well. If you stick to the plan, if you train well, if you have a little bit of talent, then that finish line is nearer than it looks. Oh, challenges. Every day there's a new challenge, I feel like. Resco being a tech company or software company, right? We face some typical challenges of the industry, and that's staying relevant at the pace of technological advancement or the pace of innovation that we see all the time. So it's really hard to keep track, to make sure that you're bringing the best of what's possible in the technology realm, and making sure that your customers are still getting value. And then when you combine the competition as a next challenge, it becomes really tricky, because we see a lot of companies emerging, new startups coming to the scene, bringing some new innovative ideas that they turn into products. But we at Resco, I think the way we are able to overcome a lot of these challenges is based on great people and great team that we have. We have some colleagues of mine who have been with the company for 18 years, 15 years, etc. So it's a great depth of knowledge and expertise in that field. They're able to create some really exceptional features and functionality that we eventually build into the product. That allows us to stay ahead of the competition and make sure that we're the number one choice for our customers. One big advice that I have for people who have their own businesses is to spend some time thinking about their vision and the purpose of the companies, and make sure it's impactful, it's strong, and it's big. As a business, you're going to face a lot of challenges. You're going to find yourself at different crossroads and making some tough decisions or facing different issues. And if you have a strong vision and a purpose for your company, those challenges and issues should seem a little bit smaller than they are and should help you navigate through some tough times. It's been a journey with Gesmer Updegrove for sure. I remember to this day the first time I met Steve Snyder. We had a lunch not far from your offices at one of the restaurants, and I was amazed by the approach that Steve had. I had a real feeling that he tried to get to know the Resco, the company, and me as a person, to understand who we are, what we do, what our business is about. It wasn't the classic pushy thing like, okay, you have an issue, I can find a solution for you. It was more of a quality, and that really evolved over the years. And I feel like every time I have a bigger problem or bigger issue, I end up calling Steve, because he's so well connected. He has a lot of experience, he has a lot of knowledge, and he can always help navigate me towards the goal or the finish line. So the value has been really, really great, and I couldn't go on without mentioning Bill Hilton, who I spent probably a dozen hours working on one specific contract with Microsoft that we talked about before. So I don't know how Bill remembers those days, but for me it was really exciting because it was a great combination of Bill's knowledge, the legal expertise that he has, but also like real life expertise, right? Working with Microsoft Corporation, the most valuable company on the globe, and Resco, and kind of what should our approach be. And we discussed a lot of different angles that we should think about when we approach the talks, etc. So yeah, it's been great and it's been really beneficial for us. So that's an easy one, surprisingly, and I think Gesmer Updegrove is a perfect combination of approachable people, great expertise and knowledge, and genuine care. Like when I mentioned, or when we described the touch points I had with Steve and Bill, they always check, like, oh, how did things go? Did you get the answer, etc. So you can tell that they care about the outcome, right? About that finish line, as we discussed at one of the other previous questions. So in my opinion, any company in the Boston greater area should have Gesmer Updegrove on the team if they want success.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you would like to learn more information, please reach out to our social media or our website at gesmer.com.